one today. I'm Captain Ray.
Have you been hanging onto a bunch of old paper in your home or office? Town Square Media Tuscaloosa, the Better Business Bureau, and the Chamber of Commerce of West Alabama present Shred Day, Friday, April 9th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Load your paper, bring it in boxes or a container, and we will shred it for free while you wait. Shred Day is limited to paper only, no electronics, and 2 containers. Shred Day, Friday, April 9th, conveniently located in the old McFarland Mall parking lot at 900 Skyland Boulevard East in Tuscaloosa from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Are you in the market for a new Nissan or a great used vehicle? This is David DeSantis with the all-new Benton Nissan of Bessemer. You can't afford not to check us out online at BentonNissanofBessemer.com. It's a straight shot of 2059 to exit 108. We've had customers over the last 90 days tell us the short drive has saved them thousands. We'll make you this promise. If you drive to see us and we can't save you at least $1,000 on your new Nissan, we'll give you $500. The all-new Benton Nissan of Bessemer. Come on in and let us show you what it's all about.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone, where we've got more ways to get what you need fast and take care of that fall tune-up. With our free same-day store pickup, you can order online and pick it up today at your local AutoZone. Or we can bring it to you with our free next-day delivery. Just order on AutoZone.com by 10 p.m. and we'll have it at your front door the next day. Getting your job done just got easier. Free next-day delivery on eligible orders. Restrictions at AutoZone.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
If you own a small business, you know how hard it can be to find new customers. Now, Town Square has new tools that can help your business stand out and grow today. Go to GetLocalCustomersNow.com for a free local market competitive analysis that will show you what other businesses in town are doing to find new customers and how you can do it too with Town Square. Plus, be one of the first business owners to sign up with Town Square and receive $500 in free advertising on this radio station. Visit GetLocalCustomersNow.com.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
Sunny and cool weather continues today. The high for this afternoon around 60. For tonight, mostly clear and cold again, the low at 33. For the weekend, a warming trend. Lots of sunshine tomorrow and Sunday. The high tomorrow 68, the high Sunday at 73. I'm James Spann of the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9. It's 32 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
Scott Smith and South Mark Design, doing business for 17 plus years, specializing in graphic design services, commercial printing, promotional products, advertising specialties, and so much more. Basically, any and everything you would need to advertise, promote, and grow your business. Through strong partnerships, strong customer service, and creative ideas, they'll help you market and grow your business. Give Scott a call at 205-292-4680 or email scottis@comcast.net and visit them online at southmarkdesign.com.
Interact with the Martin Houston Show by calling us at 205-342-9904 or tuning into the Martin Houston Show on Facebook.
All right, Martin, you're on 3, 2, 1.
All right, welcome back into the Martin Houston Show. And for those who may have just joined us via the radio airways, welcome into this Friday edition of the Martin Houston Show. And welcome to all of those who have joined us on our social media outlets. We're talking spring practice, first scrimmage of this season. First time we get to see some live action where the guys are going all out. And as Nick Saban says, without coaches on the field. Can't wait to see what these young guys can and will do. I'm asking questions. You're welcome to ask questions. Some of the questions that I have up is which running back is going to have the best spring practice today? Which guy's going to walk away with the best practice? Will it be, one of the guys we're expecting? Will it be Brian Robinson, Jason McClellan, Keelan Robinson, or Roydell Williams? You can go out to @Martin Houston, 35, and let us know what you think there. Also, just some interesting questions from the standpoint of if you were Nick Saban, which position, Joe, would you watch? If you could only watch one position, like you can't go all over the field. And I'm going to ask that two ways. Which position would you watch? or if you had to choose just one side of the ball today, is Nick Saban watching the defense or the offense? So we'll let those questions hang out there for a little bit. But we have a caller on the line. Super Joe, you in with the Martin Houston Show? What's on your mind, man?
Well, everything all good, man. Just seeing how everything's going, developing in practice with the players, and stuff, how more optimistic we could be about the season. Give me some clarity on that part now.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot. Yesterday was a short practice. They were in shells, and mostly it was just about situational, getting ready for today's scrimmage. So there's not a whole lot, of news coming out, that we get different than you guys. And right now, I know that Cecil did a story, or Tuscaloosa News did a story on Will Anderson. So he's a guy one of those guys that I'm looking forward to hearing, to see if he really seemed like he was figuring out how to play the position. So it'll be interesting to see, not only from a playing the position standpoint, but also will he step into that leadership role on the defense.
Okay, well, I'll tell you one thing about it. One thing about it. The one with Coach Saban, they're not going to do nothing but learn. I like what I heard about the other day when I heard it, when they had Julio Jones come back and pay his visit in the locker room and talk about how you do your job so your brother can do his job. And so it's like, regardless of how talented you are, you got to be able to pay attention to detail and follow the instructions in the format he's giving you. And so it's like, do you ever compare, like this when Nick Saban came back, it's like Coach Bryant all over again? That's what a lot of people say. But, I feel like this, but, ain't nothing better than the original, than the best original. And I said, Julio Jones, one thing I say about him, though, I still remember one play he did with when it was against LSU. He got I think he was the 12th man on the field, and Coach Saban chewed him out because the flag went on Alabama. But when he stepped back on the field, you remember he went on and got that pass, and that short pass, and ran on and burned the middle two defenders, got that quick touchdown.
You're talking about that 50-yard-ish wide receiver screen where he literally caught the ball, turned, and ran straight down the sideline against LSU?
Yeah, I still remember that. I'll take that, though.
Julio Jones is one of those guys that if Julio Jones were to, I would love to see Julio Jones come back and play in today's offense. Julio Jones would be at the collegiate level. Julio Jones would be a destroyer. He was already pretty good, and we didn't even really use him. We used him as much as a decoy and as a blocker as we did a receiver when he was here. I would love to see him having played in the last couple of offenses. So
he's still with the Atlanta Falcons, isn't he?
Huh? I guess. I haven't heard of that trade happening, so I hope they're not crazy enough to get rid of him. Even in his injuries, he's still one of the leading receivers in the league year in and year out. You got anything else for me, Super Joe?
No, I appreciate that, man. I appreciate you taking my call, partner. Take care, Money Mar.
All right. Roll Tide. Appreciate it, Super Joe. Let's go to Tom. Tom, you in with the Martin Houston Show. What's on your mind, man?
Hey, Martin. How are you this morning?
Doing well, sir. You?
I'm good. Thank you. If he puts all the defensive starters on the field today against the offense and they don't dominate that offense, we're in trouble.
You think so?
Yeah. I mean, just going by your analysis, during spring, the experience on this team is on the defensive side, and we lost a lot on offense that, I don't think they've had a chance to really come together yet. And if they go out there and light up that defense, we're in trouble. And but I don't really think that Coach Saban and the staff will do that. I think they want to probably see the offense get some confidence, so they're not going to go out there and go all out against this offense. What do you think about that?
I would tell you that it doesn't necessarily mean that we're in trouble if the offense has a good day. I do not see Nick Saban taking it easy for the offense to build confidence. If they're going to build confidence from the offensive side of the ball, Tom, it won't be because they don't play defense. Because as a defensive player, I would immediately know, Coach, why are we playing such base defense and we're so much more experienced? Why aren't we pushing ourselves to get better? And Alabama doesn't get better by making one unit less. What you may see is this offensive team having put in less than normal, but they will go out and they will run the plays that they know they can execute at an extremely high level. Okay. And so you may build confidence in the offense that way. The other side of this, and Joe, I'd love to get your thoughts on that response as well. The other side of this is it could be that we just, even though we replaced a lot of players, we just may be dominant offensively. I mean, we could really, really, really be talented on the offensive side of the ball, and you feel better. It may not be that the defense plays bad. It could be that the offense plays great. Now, with that said, Tom, I still stand behind. I think the defense is going to have to play well in those first couple of games for us to play well and to win.
Well, I agree with that. I think the defense can give us, with the amount of experience on defense and the quality of players that we have on defense, I believe that's there. I believe they can give us more, how do you say it, more margin of error. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I do believe they have the ability to do that till we get our sea legs, so to speak, on offense.
Yeah, and it's I think that Curtis Lewis has maintained that the offense is going to be, what it's going to be, and it's going to be good enough to win early, and where defense is not going to have to be anything more than it was last year potentially. And that's possible because this defense could make this offense have to get better a lot quicker. And let me give you what I mean by that. If you go back and watch, and I know I'm going old school and football was different, but if you go back and watch the 92 team, when we played really good teams, our offense played better because Coach Stallings felt like we would have to score more points, so he let us play a lot better. And when you go back and look at Tennessee's and Miami's and some of those teams, our offense, man, sometimes we would feel so beat up at practice, and then we go to a game and it would feel like we were playing against little kids after playing against that 92 defense. I mean, and so even though you didn't see the scores the way you wanted to, that was more by coaching design and style than it was how good our offense could be. Go ahead.
Something, Martin. The 92-93 team. I remember there were games that we had to go away from the defense, run the ball type offense, and pull the cork out of the offensive bottle, and that team could do it. I remember us having to score a lot of points. One game comes to mind, 92, the Mississippi State game, and then 93, we played Georgia, Eric Sire.
Yep.
And they come in there with that highfalutin offense. And Bama match, actually, Jay Barker outplayed Sire in the passing game. You remember that?
Yep, I remember.
You're right. I think, And I think Coach Stallings will do things like, okay, we can beat this team if we do this.
Yes, he
and
would.
We don't have to do any more than that.
Yes. If we got 17 points, he didn't think anybody could beat us.
It was over.
Yeah.
It was over.
Yeah, that's if you go back and look at the Florida game when we got ahead, he thought the game was over. And we just it was as much how Florida played as it was as much about how we started calling the offense in the second half as it was how good they were. And then, then we come out and we blow out a Miami team. And offensively, everybody forgets. I know the defense played great in that game, but everybody forgets that we had Lassick had 100 and something rushing yards in the first half against that great Miami defense. So my point behind that is this defense could really, if you're going to have this type of offensive turnover in a season at one time, it's really good that you have such a veteran defense that can do a lot of things against this young offense to make them play a lot of different scenarios and situations and blitzes and schemes. And so the best thing going for this offense that has so many new pieces is that, Tom, that we have a veteran defense that's going to challenge them, and that could end up making things even better for us down the road. You got anything else for us?
No, that's it. Thanks, Mark.
Thank you, sir. Joe, you have any comments on that the defense having a good day, a bad day, or offense having a good day conversation?
I think the defense is definitely going to be ahead of the offense, considering how much you have to replace offensively. But I don't know that you would read too much into it based off being the first scrimmage of the spring. There's still so much time from now into the first game that wherever you are right now, you're kind of just taking a measuring stick, kind of just trying to find out where you are right now and use that to build off of the rest of the spring.
Yeah, Coach Stallings had really one major goal in the spring, and it wasn't necessarily to try to figure out how good we were going to be in the fall, even though that was a side effect of it. He was looking for one thing on each side of the ball. I'll tell you what that is on the other side, and then we'll get to a couple of these questions that's coming in on Facebook and on social media. And if you want to get in on a conversation, 205-342-9904, the Taco Casa hotline is open for business. Remember, Taco Casa, when you're making your lunch and dinner plans today and over the weekend, go to Taco Casa. Taco Casa, quality, taste, value under the biggest cactus in town. They have 6 locations in Tuscaloosa, West Alabama, to better serve you. Also one up in Birmingham off of Lakeshore Drive. They've been doing it this way for 40-plus years. Nobody does it any better than Taco Casa. Quality, taste, value on the biggest cactus in town. That's tacocasa.com.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
From the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center, we start our Friday morning with a major wreck. Lebanon Cottondale before 2059. The roadway is closed. Use an alternate route. Everything else looks good, but if you see conditions, of course, give us a call. 205-886-8886. Where are the deals? Townsend Nissan, your hometown dealer. Come grab one today. I'm Captain Ray.
Hello, this is Martin Houston with the Martin Houston Show, and I want to tell you about one of our great sponsors, Overflow Express Wash. Their mission is to provide great customer service with a showroom clean car and an exceptional customer service experience. They have the basic car wash that starts at $7, but you need to check out the premium wash packages, which start as low as $12 and go up to $20. They also have a membership wash club that you can get for starting at $23.99, going up to $39.99. In other words, just double the regular premium package, drop a penny, and you can be one of the great members of Overflow Express Wash. My family and I keep our cars looking good inside and out by using Overflow Express Wash. They're located on Skyland Boulevard right next door to Alabama 1, or you can find them online at overflowexpresswash.com. Andy Phillips and his team look forward to making you a part of their team.
Hey, it's me, your cousin from Boston. I'm on the radio doing ads for Sam Adams. Now I'll be known as the Sam Adams guy instead of the dude who fell in the quarry. Sam Adams Boston Lager is crisp and refreshing, which is why I bring a six-pack wherever I go, except the movies anymore. Sam Adams, from Boston with love. Here's a legal part. Watch how fast I can read. The Boston Beer Company, Boston, Mass. Drink responsibly. Now, is that 30 seconds? Are we even close?
Have you been hanging on to a bunch of old paper in your home or office? Town Square Media Tuscaloosa, the Better Business Bureau, and the Chamber of Commerce of West Alabama present Shred Day, Friday, April 9th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Load your paper, bring it in boxes or a container, and we will shred it for free while you wait. Shred Day is limited to paper only, no electronics, and 2 containers. Shred Day, Friday, April 9th, conveniently located in the old McFarland Mall parking lot at 900 Skyland Boulevard East in Tuscaloosa from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Nick Saban calls it the process. John Maxwell said that everything rises and falls on it. And Coach Wooden said it's what you learn after you think you know it all that makes the difference. What am I talking about? Leadership and personal development. Is your organization, your school, your church, your family, are they receiving the proper level of leadership development and personal development? If not, the Empowerment Center for Leadership and Mentoring can help you with that. We have our pep talks, which is a 1 to 1.5 hour lunch and learn, which we can customize to meet your needs, or we have some topics that we present that we know can help your organization. And if you're looking for one-on-one mentoring and coaching, we can also assist you with that. Visit peptalks35.com. That's peptalks35.com, or send an email to martin@martinhouston.org. That's the Empowerment Center for Leadership and Mentoring.
Welcome back to the Martin Houston Show, the sound of Bama sports. Your show, your team, on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
All right, Marty, you're hot in 3, 2, 1.
All right, Alabama Crimson Tide football big scrimmage today. If you were Nick Saban and you could only watch one position, what position would that be? If you could only watch one side of the ball, would Nick Saban be watching the defense or the offense today? If you were out there, would you be watching the offensive line? Is that your biggest question? What about the running backs? Are you looking to see which running back jumps out and takes hold of the job? Or Curtis Lewis bringing up a really, really good question this morning. Think about this. I'm looking to see the chemistry between Bryce Young and Jaleel Billingsley. Great question, because I think that what do they usually say is a young quarterback or a new starting quarterback's best friend? A tight end. The tight end. The tight end. And when you have a tight end with the athletic ability and the versatility that Billingsley had and began to show down the stretch, we actually ran a tight end reverse, speed sweep, whatever you want to call it, with Billingsley last year. I mean, so that tells you the athletic ability that he had. So, yeah, that would be an intriguing area to watch if you had an opportunity to go out to spring practice. The young quarterback will, I believe, seek to find and build relationships with guys. The question you have to ask yourself, Joe, will we see some of the same thing we saw with Mac Jones? When Mac Jones got in there, we saw that Mac Jones already had chemistry with a couple of key people, Devontae Smith being one of them, and we saw that pick up after Waddle went out. But it was almost immediate. If you go back to the Auburn game, you could tell that Waddle and Mac Jones had developed a big-time relationship, and it kind of makes you wonder. Billingsley wasn't the starter at tight end. So it's possible that there could be some established chemistry already that exists between Billingsley and Bryce Young, similar to what happened or what the chemistry that had happened with Jalen Waddle and Mac Jones. And that would be fun to see, because you and I have talked about if you have a dominant tight end, Joe, you can change, the outcome of the game and really force defenses to have to play a lot more man on man coverage, or guys be able to cover guys down the field, or you give up the back end a lot, especially if you have a tight end who can stretch the middle of the field and require you to put a safety over the top because they're able to create a matchup with the linebackers. And we saw the Tampa Bay Buccaneers with an old Gronkowski do that this year. What are your thoughts on the Billingsley Bryce Young potential connection?
I think that he's going to make a friendly target for Bryce Young. He's probably the biggest guy with experience that's out there running around. So you got a couple younger receivers, but he's going to be the guy that's got the most experience, and he's shown the ability to make athletic catches and then the ability to have a pretty big catch radius. So I think that Bryce Young is definitely going to use him a lot, and this will be a great chance to kind of get some game action with him.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to watch that. Of course, I asked the question on Twitter at MartinHouston35 regarding the running back position specifically. So I want to make sure I go ahead and address that. Right now, you got Brian Robinson, Roydell Williams, Jace McClellan, and Keelan Robinson. Roydell Williams only getting a little bit of love, 2%. Unbelievable running back, unbelievable athlete, but he is definitely in superior talent. But don't undersell that young man. Brian Robinson getting 28%, the projected starter at this point, getting 28% of the vote so far in terms of having the best scrimmage. I think Brian Robinson is a guy that can more than carry the load. I like Brian Robinson a lot as running back, and I don't think we've seen his versatility. I think Brian Robinson is a victim of being here at a time when you had a guy that in any normal season, Joe, we just watched a Heisman Trophy winning running back. I mean, let's just be real. Najee Harris's season last year was as good as both of our prior Heisman Trophy winners' season overall. And if you put the season he had last year in any other season that we wanted, he would have the Heisman Trophy. And Brian Robinson was having to play behind that guy. Najee Harris was that good last year. And for those of you who know me, know that Najee had to come a long way in my eyes because early on in his career, I did not like the way he played the game. But Joe loved him from day one, said he was the best to come here. And he left here clearly making that argument. Joe, go ahead.
Oh, I mean, yeah, Najee, he probably would have won the Heisman if it wasn't for Devontae Smith's historic season. So
that's right.
I'm with you. Brian Robinson's got a lot of talent. I think that this is the year that he can showcase it. I know a lot of people are really excited about Jace McClellan and Roydell Williams and just the running backs that are behind Brian Robinson, but I don't want people to overlook him. I think that he's got all the talent and he can be a bell cow running back this year.
Well, here's the part that people may not know about Brian Robinson, Joe, and I'm not sure you even know it, but I got to watch that young man play in high school, okay? And I'll never forget watching him some on film and then also seeing him live and in person. The thing that I liked most about Brian Robinson, he was clearly, Joe, the best player on the field. What even close to not being the best player on the field on either side of the ball. And that was the case in many of the games he played in. They come out and like the first play, Joe, they have him at wide receiver and he gets like a pancake block. Okay. Then they come in the second play and like they run a fake to him, but he runs so hard that all of us in the stands thought that he had the ball. Okay. Then they come back to third play and they swing him out on a pass route. And then I think the team scored. And then they turn around the next series and they just run him and you couldn't stop him. And what the point I'm trying to make about that is this young man has been unselfish. He has played fullback for Alabama. He's done special teams and all that. And I think we don't realize how athletic he is. He the same things we saw with Najee Harris in terms of lining up at slot. He did all of this in high school. All of the route trees and different things. He did all of those things in high school. We just haven't seen him do them because when Alabama had that in their arsenal, Joe, they did it with Najee Harris. But Brian Robinson can do all those things. With that said, Jace McClellan had some highlights against lesser competition, not in the heat of the game, but he showed sparks of being able to be, that type of player. And then, of course, the more intriguing person coming back to me is Keelan Robinson. I thought many people conveyed to me that he was sitting out from COVID because he was going to transfer. Well, that wasn't the case. Maybe Saban talked him into staying or whatever. Maybe he felt like, hey, I can get an extra year by redshirting, and technically he's not redshirted, so technically he still has, I would assume he still has a redshirt year like everyone else because last year was a dead season, and he still has 3 years of eligibility. He's one of those guys that could surprise us all. He's supposedly gotten a little bigger, and he's always been lightning. And to me, he gives you some of that waddle wiggle Joe from the backfield. Don't be surprised if he doesn't play some wide receiver. As far as what we saw Najee do, creating some mismatches there. Right now, Keelan Robinson and Jace McClellan both sitting at 35% each. So they're tied. So any thoughts on Keelan Robinson?
I think that he's shown in his, very, very, very limited action that he's got the ability to take the ball. He can score on any
Yes.
play. So I'm excited to see him get back into the fold this coming season and see if we can get him utilized a little bit more.
Yeah, and then I before we go to break, because on the other side we're going to talk about offensive line because that seems to be your question and everyone else's biggest question. And then the Curtis Lewis seems to be sold on Trey Sanders. He said McClellan will have the best scrimmage because Sanders doesn't need to or isn't 100%. And my question to him is, you seem to be sold on Trey Sanders. What has he shown that makes you feel that way? Have you seen enough from Trey Sanders in an Alabama uniform and on the field to make you think that this kid doesn't need a good spring and doesn't need a great offseason, even when he's 100%?
No, I don't think I have personally, and no shade on the guy, but I think he probably works his butt off just like the rest of them. But I think that he underwhelmed me a little last season. Not to in limited action, he didn't have
right
full to show his skill set, but he underwhelmed me a little bit last year. And coming off another injury, a tragic car accident, he makes his second major injury while he's been at Alabama. I think it was important to get out there and get healthy and show that you can play. And you don't want to fall behind. You're there with Jace McClellan. You're there with Roydell Williams. You're going to be Kamar Wheaton is about to come in. You don't want to fall behind. You don't want to be that guy that slips behind Keelan Robinson, nipping up at your heels. I think that it's important for everybody in the running back room that wants to be carrying the rock this fall to show out and show what they can do.
Yeah, especially when you have what, Joe? A whole bunch of new coaches. Right now, you may have a good resume from high school, but the interview process is happening right now, and we call it spring practice. And all of these guys that are on campus are getting a chance to do that. Trey Sanders, to me, special talent in high school, looked really good in shorts, and then looked good that first few moments of his first day in full pads, but has had that injury shortly that ended his freshman year. And then last year he played, to me, he ran tentative, but that's not to be unexpected, not having played football in the length of time he had played football. And so I wasn't surprised by it, but he didn't show me anything to make me feel like if we have to count on him, that he's the guy. Now, he has the talent and the pedigree and the resume to be that type of guy. But to your point, Joe, there's a lot of guys making their case right now while he's not able to do that. And who knows, the Kamar kid could come in and beat them all out. So we could be talking about running backs that one of those two guys could be the starter. But here's the thing. Alabama has a stable full of running backs, and they all seem to do something a little different. So it'll be interesting to see what does the new coordinator, offensive coordinator, what do they want in their running back, and what are they looking for? So I'm excited to see how the running back room plays out. Joe, someone, Matt Wiley had a comment that I want you to simmer on, and we'll see what your thoughts are on the other side. He says, and he's talking to me as well, and I don't know where he gets this from, but it's his opinion. Man, y'all do everything you can to make this sound like it'll be the worst offense to ever take the field in an Alabama jersey. Joe saying they'll have to keep teams to 14-17 to win yesterday made me yell at my phone. That was one of the silliest things I've ever heard. I bet his memories get real short when they come out and light it up. Just hold your water right there, Joe. And we're going to react to that comment on the other side right here on the Martin Houston Show.
Tide 100 point.
From the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center, we start our Friday morning with a major wreck on US 11 in Cottondale before 2059. The roadway is closed. Use an alternate route. Everything else looks good, but if you see conditions, of course, give us a call. 205-886-8886. Where are the deals? Townsend Nissan, your hometown dealer. Come grab one today. I'm Captain Ray.
Here's what's trending on the Tuscaloosa thread. Good morning. Smith Dam feeds into the headwaters of the Black Warrior River. And as Alabama power officials watched earlier this week, torrential rains caused water levels to rise rapidly, stopping just 1 foot shy of breaching the spillway. The company had warned residents below the dam to be prepared for flooded roads. University of Alabama has a large Asian community. Attacks on Asians in Atlanta and across the country prompted a Stop Asian Hate vigil at Foster Auditorium last night. I'm Don Hurtley, Town Square Media, Tuscaloosa.
Hello, this is Martin Houston with the Martin Houston Show, and I want to tell you about Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing. If you're looking for a way to add value to your home, make your flower beds pop, make your landscaping stand out from your neighbors, then Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing can help you do just that. They have numerous styles, but they feature the Moroccan Stone Curb series, which includes 4 great styles and unlimited color choices. That's Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing. They are the one that can help you stand out from your neighbors. Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing, 205-331-6823. You may also find yourself with the need for a custom size stone or custom shaped stone. Then Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing can help with that as well. Paul Fuller and his team are waiting on your call right now for that free quote. And if you tell them that Martin Houston with the Martin Houston Show told you to stop by, you'll get a big discount. So call Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing at 205-331-6823 or visit them online at Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing, LLC.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? If you're looking for your engine to run a little smoother, some fuel system cleaner could help. Right now, we have buy one, get one free on Chevron Techron Complete Fuel System Cleaner. Plus, AutoZone Rewards members get a $1 bonus reward. Not a member? Don't worry. Joining is easy, and you can even earn an extra $5 bonus reward when you join with a valid email. Getting your job done just got easier. Restrictions apply. See terms at AutoZone.com/rewards.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
It begins before we are even born. It is with us until the day we take our last breath. So when it comes to matters of the heart, it is best to leave it to those who know how to keep that beat going.
Cardiology Consultants has provided West Alabama the highest quality, state-of-the-art cardiovascular services. Dr. William Hill, Jeffrey Anderson and Lewis, Amit Shah, Edward Caraway, and Brad Proctor, all board certified.
The sound of Bama sports. Your show, your team. The Martin Houston Show. On your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
All right, Martin, you're on 3, 2, 1.
All right. Someone threw the gauntlet down on us, Joe. Once again, Matt Wiley saying, man, y'all do everything you can to make this sound like it'll be the worst offense to ever take the field in Alabama jersey. Joe saying that they'll have to keep teams to 14-17 to win. Yesterday made me yell at my phone. That was one of the silliest things I've ever heard. I bet his memory get real short when they come out and light it up. You want to go first, or you want me to go first?
I don't remember saying that, Martin. But
I don't either. But yeah.
Well, it's early in the morning, so sometimes I have to say things that I don't quite remember. But I don't think they'll have to hold up teams to 14-17. I think that'll be the goal. I think the defense will be able to do that because they're coming back with a lot of experience. But the worst offense ever? No, they're not going to be the worst offense ever in an Alabama uniform. But it is. Let's be real. It's probably the highest turnover on the Alabama offense that we've seen in 3, 4, 5 years. You're replacing 3 offensive linemen. You're replacing a quarterback. You're replacing a running back. You're replacing two starting wide receivers. You're replacing a tight end. Now, does that mean the talent behind it is bad? Absolutely not. Saban's been recruiting at a high level forever, but they are having to replace a lot of production. So there's a lot of missing pieces to put in there. But I think they'll end up having a good offense, but it's going to take a little bit of time for them to gel and get used to one another.
Yeah, I mean, hey, listen, if I've made it sound like this is going to be the worst, then that was not my intentions. But I'm also a realist, okay? Let's talk about what we're talking about. You have a quarterback who has never played meaningful minutes. You have to replace the number 1 and number 3 wide receiver in the upcoming NFL draft. You're going through a spring where the 3rd wide receiver, who would be projected to be the number 1 wide receiver in the offense, is not even practicing with this new quarterback. If this quarterback who got the reps last year ends up winning the job, you are replacing the best potential running back that's ever played at Alabama that took all of the lion's share of the carries down the stretch when the game meant the most, and replacing him with a lot of guys that's probably going to be running back by committee early on. You're replacing 3 starters who will all potentially be day 1 or 2 picks on the offensive line. The best offensive lineman you got is probably not going to play the same position that he played last year at right tackle. So even though you're only replacing 3 starters, it's really like having 4 brand new starters on the offensive line, Joe, because he is going to most likely be your left tackle. The other guy that is the starter that is returning, guess what, Joe? He's not practicing in the spring. So you have really 5 offensive linemen that will be new in where they play this spring. Oh, by the way, did I mention you lost the offensive line coach? You lost the unbelievable, successful, creative, good-minded offensive coordinator in Steve Sarkisian. You lost your running back coach who coached the best running back ever. You lost your tight end coach and your special teams coach twice. I'm just saying, Joe, it's possible that the offense has some work to do. Right?
I definitely think it's
possible. they may be great. But if Alabama fans are so blinded that they don't have that conversation that this could be a weakness early on, I've never said that this offense wouldn't be great. I just said our defense, and I don't think the defense can hold people to 14-17 points. The point I made was that 14-17 points is like a shutout in today's game. This defense will have to make sure that we don't have to get into a offensive juggernaut. But at the same time, I say that is this defense, and this could make this offense better, and this offense could be great by the start of the season. But they got a uphill battle like no offense has ever had under Nick Saban, and let's hope our defense is good enough to give us a chance for that to happen, either through spring practice or in those first early games. Can't get to it all. Going to be a great scrimmage. We're going to have some real stuff to talk about on Monday. Hey, don't forget to watch the Final Four. We'll probably talk a little bit about that on Monday, but we're going to be talking Alabama football as they have their first scrimmage today. Thank you so much for being a part of the program. I'm Martin Houston. That's Joe Gaither. Thanks to all the callers, listeners, and chatters. Remember this, trust in the Lord always. Lean not in your own understanding. Always acknowledge him, and he will direct your paths. And please find yourself in church somewhere on this Resurrection Sunday. And if I don't say it again, happy Easter and roll tide.
Thanks, Martin. Hope you have a great weekend.
Thank you. Happy Easter, roll tide. Happy Resurrection Sunday, sir.
Thank you for listening to the Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app. Tide 100.9